Does the Tax Commission, when she puts it on the web, when they put it on the website, does it add to your Google calendars?
Like automatically? I don't,
Or by email or any other way?
I don't know that it does. I'm in a regular practice of.
I don't think so either. I think it might be valuable to do that from now on, just a suggestion. I'm not the chair, but if I were the chair, I guess I could make the motion.
I think
make a
we
motion
value
to
to do
ask.
that, have it automatically add to our calendars.
I make, well, I don't know about automatically, but I make the motion that we might ask our staff liaison to make Google calendars for our regular meetings with the Zoom link and the room number, so that we can all accept it the way I've been doing with the outreach committee. And it'll show up on our Google calendars. And be very convenient for people running down the street or running in the door to see where the room is or whatever.
I think we're not voting today, but.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We don't need to make a motion.
We could do it next month.
Ask the staff liaison. There's an easy way to do that.
I'm right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Ash,
Yeah, I mean,
do you think
yeah,
you do that for us?
absolutely.
All right.
So I can go
It's that
ahead.
Occam's razor, right?
I'm just saying stuff has not been that easy in the past, so.
Let's see, I'll add yes. I think you have to have a Gmail account, but I think that'll work.
Yeah, because, that really seems to help attendance at outreach meetings, I know.
Yeah, it seems like there was confusion about the meeting last week, meeting this week for some reason. One, two, three.
Yeah, it's the fourth Wednesday, come on.
Send out invites to the April meeting. Hopefully that should be.
It does kind of look like an owl.
Yeah.
When you turn it on, it goes,
Right at it. It definitely looks like that.
when you turn it on, it goes, woo, woo, woo.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want to discuss the CAPS support of the Gaza resolution.
Does anyone have any questions about that? Since the resolution draft has been changed and I circulated it last week.
All right. Do you want to discuss the budget request?
Well, we approved the budget request in the outreach meeting for 2023 and 2024. And the only part we didn't approve that I added for the one that we were gonna look at today is for 2025. And what I did was I copied. Is it in here? I copied, so wait, you printed these Friday, right? So it's not in there. So I copied the budget from 2024 over to 2025.
It should be in there. I printed out the
Oh.
extra pages. They're just in the back. I just didn't print out a second.
Cool. Yeah, so, but 2025 budget is the same as 2024, except it's $1,000 more because I doubled the peer liaison. So the idea is in 2024, we do a pilot of a peer liaison with one person and see how that goes. And if it's successful, the next year in 2025, we would have two. So it's double the money with no pay raise.
Yeah.
And then, and obviously this could, you know, possibly be changed, but based on what Ash told us in the outreach meeting, they would prefer, the city would prefer to have the budget request in by the, or no, the council would prefer by the end of June. So that's why, when we were approving 2023 and 2024, it just makes sense to do 2025, since we've got like, basically, we wouldn't need to have it done in the next couple months anyway. So anyway, I suggested, I mean, obviously, we can talk about any of this stuff, but that was a suggested change. The only other change was adding, also doubling the budget for the Bloomington Safety Coalition. So again, treating this year as a pilot, and the costs are just to pay for coffee, donuts, water, bananas. Obviously for our community members who would be joining us, mostly for them to enjoy this. It's not like for ourselves. Because we're asking them to donate like 3 hours of their time per meeting. And then again, kind of treat that as a pilot the first year. And if that's successful, then the second year, we would have twice as many meetings. So, and it's also because of timing, because this year, by the time we get a coalition off the ground and actually start having meetings, we're only gonna have 3 meetings left in the year. Especially knowing how everyone disappears in December. So, we'll be lucky if we get 3 meetings in this year. Because we already had discussed, we only have them every 2 to 3 months anyway. And then, so yeah, the idea was that then the next year, once we get the coalition going, then we could have 6 meetings in a year, so. Anyway,
I have a
any
question.
questions about that?
Yeah, how are the speaking fees determined?
Oh, for the community events,
Yeah, like, I mean, I didn't know we we're paying people to speak, that's fine, how is that determined?
Hmm.
Like, it just looked, there's just a general like fund for possible speaking fees, I'm just curious about
mhm.
what that number is. Like, is $500 one person, 2 people? I just. Yeah, that's my question.
Well, that line there for community events, that's actually the only one where we have, it's sort of, undecided yet, what we're gonna do with the funds. And that's because it's worked well in the past couple of years where we asked the council for just like a general amount that we could spend for the year for events like this. And then as we figure out stuff to do, then we have money there. Because the thing is, if you don't ask for it by the end of June the year before,
Sure,
then it's all a kind of mess.
so I assume we would like discuss that then, since it's not like decided already, then we would discuss that at a commission meeting.
Yeah, before any of these funds would be paid out, they would need to be approved by the
Okay.
commission,
Cool, that's all.
yeah. Oh, Tyler's joined, perfect, oh no, he's still not in person, so. Hey, Tyler, we don't have enough people here to have the meeting, so we're just waiting for Kathleen to come. And we're gonna record her presentation.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, I guess, but we're just discussing stuff on the agenda anyway.
Do we have an ETA for Kathleen?
5:15, I believe.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about her students' project. I think it's gonna really, allow us to get started on the feasibility study.
Yeah. Real quick, this is a little off topic, but I have a question that I wanted to ask you. So, in terms of the outreach for the marginalized communities, so like if you want to maybe elaborate more on like when I reach out to these people, do you want me to, you know, like talk about the report and, ask them, if they are willing to read it and, go over it with them, or is there something else that you had in mind regarding that?
Well, actually, if you remember, we have been discussing this year not doing the outreach directly ourselves.
Oh, that's for next year.
But
Okay.
hiring peer liaisons.
Okay.
And so we actually were just talking about the budget request. So we're putting in a budget request for 2024 for $750 to pay one peer liaison to
Okay.
assist in that effort. But I think also, we can go, what we had decided in the outreach committee was that, you and I can, we can do it together at first, and I could, introduce you, but that we could reach out to CAPS partners from our recent events, like the Indiana Recovery Alliance, the, New Life. Hi, Kathleen. But yeah, we were gonna reach out to our community partners to assist in that. Yeah.
And, in speaking a little bit about this with, Stephen Musgets, he mentioned, of course, that, the city has a very, detailed process that we don't know at the moment, for hiring folks. So it might not be as easy, to hire somebody without kind of going through that process, maybe being in controller, HR, several different departments. So we'll need to get into more detail, since we aren't, our office isn't in charge of hiring citywide.
Right on.
This might be, could you even process it as a vendor, since it would be like a temporary assignment, just for like, I think it's even in here for 5 weeks. So it's more of a consultant than a employee. In fact, I would definitely say they would not reach employee status,
Yeah, because you mentioned hiring and all of that, so that's.
working for 5 weeks. So, yeah, if you could look into that, that would be very helpful, but if you could look into it as a consultant, as a temporary contract rather than employee.
What about an intern? Is an intern? I mean, an intern's different than employee, right? Or
Still have to hire them. It's a longer.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
HR wise, a contract is the easiest way to go, Tyler.
yeah, okay.
Consultant. I mean, that's what they are. They're basically gonna be a consultant for 5 weeks, so. Cool. Okay, well, Cammy, do you wanna, let Kathleen know what's going on?
We don't have a quorum for our meeting,
Oh, okay.
so, but we'd still like you to speak to us if that would be okay with you.
Yeah,
We're recording it, and so the members that aren't here will be able to watch.
Right? Yes, we're.
Yeah. So you are presenting to all of us, just not synchronously to some.
okay, okay. And then, does this, I mean, I'll get feedback from the group maybe, as it comes and, okay. So there is one of the students from the course on the call as well, so I didn't know if he had a chance. Pranav, did you have a chance to introduce yourself?
Oh, what's their name? I have to make them I have to ask them to unmute.
Oh, okay, Pranav Kapoor. There we go.
Oh, it won't let me turn my video on, but hi everyone. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah,
You should be able to turn it on now.
okay. Okay. Can you see me? Is everything working?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Do you just want to say a quick introduction of, your concentration and
Yeah.
association with the school? Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. My name is Pranav Kapoor. I'm currently a second year PhD student in epidemiology at IU. So yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, the class has been super fun. So yeah.
Thank you. I put him kind of on the spot there, but thank you for doing that. So I did send a memo to, Ash before the meeting, so hopefully everyone also has a chance to review that. What I laid out is kind of our objectives. The students that are going to be looking at the policy report are taking a graduate level public health policy and politics course. In the course, we are, oh, thank you. We are learning about a framework, and the first half of our course has been a lot of gaining knowledge about different ways to look at policy with different lenses. So economic lens, law, politics, epidemiology, and ethics. And so we're using kind of that as a framework to look at the CAPS report. And we are, you know, I've always said I'm very impressed by the work in the CAPS report. It's very comprehensive. So we're trying, the objective for us looking at it again is to kind of highlight aspects that maybe recognizing gaps in the report where more epidemiological or economic evidence is needed, kind of using that framework that the students have learned about on the policy report. We're hoping that this will give the consultants that come in next, ideally, kind of a roadmap for what we aren't able to get done in the next month of the course, kind of give them a roadmap for, you know, what additional data is needed to kind of take this to the next step. So we have in this table kind of the deliverables. The first one on there is an issue brief. And so actually one student already submitted hers and I was going to share it with you, but now I can't find it on my screen. Here, if you give me 1 minute. Here it is. Yeah, so so here she kind of summarizes. So an issue brief we're learning, the students are learning in the course is just to like a 1-page handout that you could give someone that just gives them a broad overview of the issue, that being public safety in Bloomington. And it doesn't go into the policy analysis, but it talks about policy implications. Why is this important and what could be done? And so she's talking about, you know, the CAPS Commission, the work they've already done, and kind of a call to action here at the end. She even made this infographic. She's going to send that to me as a separate file if that's something your committee would like to use. But this is just one of 9 issue briefs that we'll be receiving. And it could be, you know, products that are ready to go or that you can kind of, you know, combine aspects of one or the other. And then after that, Ash, if you don't mind bringing up that table again. So that's just the initial, like them reading through the report. They should be able to write that issue brief. And so that's actually due tomorrow. They're also looking at the report and they're using a framework laid out from their text on identifying where they can add to the information that's already there. We have students that are epidemiologists, they are community and social health experts, environmental health, and what is the last concentration? Environmental health. Anyway, they come from a variety of backgrounds. And so based on their own studies and our text, they're going to be kind of highlighting these different areas where they can find more information. And we're going to combine those spreadsheets and have that be a roadmap to determine what we can do over the night. We only have another month left of classes. This semester has gone by very quickly. So we will take those spreadsheets as a roadmap and try to start looking for data on these different aspects of the report. And then we will come together with a composite report, kind of a 2.0 of the CAPS report, and then kind of refine that. If there were an opportunity for them to deliver that report or provide testimony about that report, we could talk about that option. And so the final product is going to be that one combined report from students working to gather evidence in these different fields. And then hopefully that would serve as a scope of work, not in its finished form, but from that report, you could glean a scope of work for your consultants coming in.
Great. Yeah, when we discussed this in the outreach committee meeting last week, the one comment that we all had was that we really would appreciate if we actually looked at the calendar and went, oh, I bet the students can't come and present because they're probably going to be gone in the summer. But, you know, if possible, if you could come back and present to the commission. So it looks like you're having everything due, yeah, because if it's all, because our next CAPS meeting is on the 24th of April. So it's a little bit too early for your timing. So it's going to be the May meeting.
Okay.
Is when, if you could come back and talk and present it to us, we'd really appreciate it. But this all sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, I bet there will be some students that will be around.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, you're definitely invited to the May meeting.
Okay, great.
It's the 22nd of May.
Okay.
Yeah, and just thinking about sharing the student work reminds me, so we did a project through the Student Agile Response Team program at IU. And I think that's really important because it shows the community how IU students can be engaged. So it's not town and gown, but there's this bonding. So we can use the information and say, this is a way that students can engage beyond the curriculum, or the curriculum can be used and integrated in real time. So I really appreciate you as a fellow pedagogue.
Oh, thank you. That's great. Well, I think it's a great opportunity for the students. So I thank you for kind of opening up this possibility for us. Yeah, did you have any other like concerns or direction, guidance for me to bring back to them?
If they could also, if they wanted to, or for bonus points, maybe, if they wanted to, think of possible resources in our community where we might make a feasibility study without getting any city funds granted, because we still hope that we will, but we are not 100% confident that we will. And we're currently planning on, with this community safety, the community safety roundtable has been renamed a coalition.
Okay.
And I hope you can join. But when we start meeting with the coalition, a big part of that is going to be, you know, it is going to be hopefully to build the feasibility study. You know, the RFP.
Yeah.
Basically, I was thinking we could take what your students' work as a basis, have the coalition look at it and say, okay, what do we want to change of this, or what do we want to do with this? And then hopefully we'll have the funds at that point to, you know, look for and eventually hire a firm. But if not, if they could think of possible ways, because that's what our coalition is going to be doing if we don't get the funds awarded.
Okay.
Is to be thinking of, like, you know, community organizations that we might be able to ask to help us do this pro bono.
Okay, can like help you do the feasibility study pro bono?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
It's very specifically, you know, like the analytical component, because we
Okay.
would need it to be obviously someone qualified, you know?
Yeah.
Like
to get into
so
the
that's sort of the problem
economics. Yeah.
as I see it with this work is that, you know, our commission has been asked to advise on, you know, some pretty, you know, very detail oriented things that
Yeah.
take some expertise, which none of us have. And so, you know, we certainly did our best with the research and the report that we did, but we felt that before we could confidently make the recommendation for a new department, we ourselves wanted to see more analysis done by someone who's qualified
Yeah.
to do it. And so I guess if we aren't able to get the funds to do the feasibility study, you know, the way the city hires consultants to do feasibility studies all the time. But if they, for some reason, decide not to fund this request, then we would be looking for people qualified in our community that we might be able to reach out to. Maybe at the university, maybe nonprofits, I don't know. Well,
Okay,
I mean, maybe for-profit places might be willing to do it pro bono. You know, there might be some shared goals.
okay.
But,
Have you talked to any of like the other, when you give those examples of like Cahoots in Oregon, have you talked to any of those other like program leaders?
yeah.
Okay,
I talked to, I actually talked to Cahoots and, they had hired, a company, I think in California, and they said they only do stuff regionally. They only do very local types of consult. And I think that's fairly common for this
Yeah.
kind of work. That
Okay.
people
Yeah.
specialize regionally and locally. So, yeah.
but where did they
I
get
know
the money?
when-
Did
when
their
we-
city? Oh, sorry.
Well, when we made the report, we decided to ask for a feasibility study because we sort of worked backwards and we said, okay, when the city has made major changes in its structure with departments in the past, how does it do that? What
Yeah.
is the decision-making process? And what we found was the city consistently hires one company. I think they changed their name. It was Novak and now it's Raptellus maybe. It might have changed again. I don't know. But they consistently hire one company out in South Carolina, I think, to do a lot of the consulting.
Okay,
And, we decided that, you know, that could be okay, but we would rather have the CAPS Commission be involved in the RFP process to hire the firm.
Yeah.
You know, because we would obviously prefer to have one specializing in community safety.
Yeah.
Or in, you know, policing alternatives.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and then when does the,
But obviously, there's like three parts of that feasibility study, right? There's economic, organizational, and legal. So, I mean, that opens it up right there to possibly saying, maybe, you know, maybe your students could even decide, say, if we limited it to IU, who would be the most appropriate departments,
Mhm.
you know, to talk
Yeah.
to, or maybe student clubs, I don't know. Yeah, just an idea.
Yeah,
I hope we get funded.
I do too.
Yeah, I think it's a reasonable request.
Yeah, so that's already, you submitted that?
Yeah, so we tried to submit it last year and, we approved it in July 3rd. And we found out that it was passed on, it was approved a week too late for it to get into the city budget for the year. So the council didn't put it in the budget. So then we had a bit of a public relations campaign where we tried to get community support to ask the mayor to put it in the budget, because the mayor can also put things in the budget.
Okay,
And we actually had several city council people said they would vote for it if the mayor put it in the budget. And then, like, the mayor said they would put it in the budget if we had a majority of city council people, and it was like, you know, a lot of this, you know, how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do it, but then no one really is gonna do it at the end of the day. So it didn't get put in the budget.
Yeah.
We got initial verbal support from Mayor Thompson before she was elected mayor, or before she took office,
Yeah,
that she looked forward to working with us in our
Oh.
commission, and really how much she liked the report, but then we have not heard from her, and we've sent her letters and emails and haven't heard anything from her. So we're currently about to pass a budget in our next meeting when we have a quorum
okay,
to ask the city council again to please put that in the budget
Mhm.
so it can be discussed and voted on this year in the big city budget. But we're also reaching out to the mayor and asking her if she could fund it with the funds that the mayor has, because you know, they have operating funds that they could use to fund it if they chose to,
okay.
as far as I'm aware.
You're talking about the feasibility study, right?
Mhm.
Because that's something that the council itself can't put in the budget. The council's kind of the final backstop for approving 6 budget ordinances for the year. And so the process really starts with the mayor and the controller. So it's really up to the mayor and the controller as to whether they're gonna put something that big in the budget. I think the only other thing I wanted to briefly touch on was the report, the public safety report that you all passed. I think that was passed on July 6th, and not July 3rd. And the budget request that you had was for your, like the $2,650, which included the screen share program. I think that was passed on August 3rd, not July 3rd.
You're so good, Ash. You've got the data
be
right
Ash.
there.
In our outreach meeting, you did say for the feasibility study that we should submit that to the council.
No, I
Yeah,
said that
you
you
did
should
tell us that
submit
last
the, whatever you're requesting to spend as a commission in 2025. So if you had it.
No, this is regards 2023. Remember, we talked about for 2023, we never had our feasibility study funded. So we would like to request to the city, whoever that is, to include it in the city budget this year.
Right, and that doesn't go into the council budget for the CAPS commission, is what I'm trying to say. That's something that would be, probably up to, because the mayor starts the budgeting process. So, you know, and the mayor talks in conjunction with the fiscal officer, who is the controller, with each department head about what goes in each department's budget. So I don't know what department that would go in, and I don't know, it goes beyond me, in terms of, you know, my ability to my power here. So I think that would be something that, you know, the mayor would be doing in conjunction with the controller. I think the mayor is aware of the proposal. I could, you know, send it again if that's something that you're hoping for, but it's not something that would be in the council specific budget for the CAPS commission. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're aware it wouldn't be in the CAPS commission budget, but I was under the impression that we were gonna send the request to the city council for the council to ensure that it goes in the city budget somewhere, wherever it's appropriate, wherever they normally put consultant, budgeting.
Right, and I think that's the nature of the beast with local government. There's checks and balances on everybody, so that the council's the final vote on the budget. The council really isn't involved in the starting process for, you know, how to get it structured. That's the administration. So the mayor and the controller are the ones who sit down with each department head and go, okay, so what do you need this year? And then at the very end of the process, it comes to the council and the council goes yes or no. So
Maybe, yeah, then we need to change that part of the budget request, because I thought it was going to the council. But anyway, yeah, if you could find out for us how we might pass that along to ask officially for it to be included in the city budget this year to the proper parties.
The,
That is definitely our ambition and desire.
yeah, would definitely be mayor's office, I think.
If you could find out how they would like us to make that request, we'd really appreciate that, because we've sent a letter and a few emails. Not heard a reply, sadly.
Okay,
Any other questions for Kathleen,
yeah,
Tammy, Todd, Tyler? Tyler is gonna be heading up our outreach with safety marginalized people this year. And we had previously been talking to the Amy at the School of Social Work
okay,
to, help us with that, Kathleen. And, I think she got busy or something because, I don't know, she hasn't replied to my emails about that, so we're planning to, instead, we were gonna plan to reach out to Jordan McIntyre
okay,
and Nick from New Leaf New Life. And if you have any suggestions or resources on that, we'd appreciate it, because what Amy had passed on to us is that, as far as she knows, the best practice in this situation is not what we did before, which was for us personally to go into the communities where safety marginalized people are and ask them for their feedback. But she said the best practice is actually to have a peer liaison from within those communities and hire them, pay them something for a few weeks to, do that feedback, like in a structured way, obviously, that we would be advising on. But, yeah, that's that was our plan so far, was to reach out to Jordan and Nick. if
yeah,
they
I
have
think
any.
Jordan is a good, yeah, Jordan would be
Okay.
a great, and Nick, yeah, great resources, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, our marginalized communities are currently, the three main ones we identified in the report, and we decided in the outreach committee to add in formerly incarcerated people.
Mm-hmm, okay,
So it's unhoused, drug using, mentally ill, incarcerated people are the communities we're hoping to do outreach with.
great,
But yeah, any other resources you have on that, feel free to send
okay.
our way. Thank you so much, Kathleen.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to ask, when are the, like, you're not calling them the tables anymore, but when are those
Coalition.
coalition? I was like, it was the C word. When are the
Yeah.
coalition meetings?
It has not been scheduled yet,
Oh,
and,
okay.
we just had, because, you know, we only meet once a month. We just had our first meeting after the Reimagining Safety events, and we, someone volunteered to, head that organization with me. I can't remember who it is now, maybe Adrian. But anyway, Adrian and I are gonna be getting together and trying to have a draft for the first meeting that we can approve in April. So it's probably not gonna start,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
That's what, we're hoping to have 3 of those meetings this year.
okay. I think I
And
signed
again-
up like during the reimagining safety, so hopefully you have, yeah, my email.
Yeah, we
on
did,
that.
we got about 12 people signed up on that.
Okay,
But I think if we also, and this is what we plan to do, is to do one-on-one outreach with all the people who've supported our work in the past, in all the organizations, to really try to get them to come, and join. And, so, yeah, we haven't done much on that, but I really foresee the coalition sort of, hopefully branching off into, you know, maybe different specialty areas.
okay,
Yeah, maybe even according to those 3 parts of the feasibility study,
yeah,
you know? Or, yeah, or maybe according to the safety marginalized groups or whatever. I mean, there's lots of different ways, but Yeah, that has not been planned, unfortunately. We haven't planned those yet either, just because unfortunately, we are a volunteer commission who.
I know how it
meets
goes. Yeah, I'm on the women's
Yeah.
commission. Yeah.
So, we really appreciate your help with the reimagining safety events because, that was a huge, order for us and you and having the backing of you and the venue and, you know, your students there and everything really meant so much to us. And it still means so much to us that your, you know, your students are gonna be going out there and getting research for us and just, yeah, keeping our work moving forward.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
It's-
Well, thank you and have a good rest of the evening, everyone.
All right. You
All
too.
right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Kathleen. All right. Did you want to discuss anything else, or did you want to end the meeting now?
I'm fine with ending.
I'm okay with ending it now.
I had
Oh,
Sorry, I had a quick question about some of the, I guess I could talk about this before the next meeting, but I think before the next meeting in April, I want to talk with, the folks, I don't know if it was done in conjunction with other folks, but the folks who kind of drafted the communication guidelines document. Since that was not drafted by myself or Stephen Lucas, and we didn't really have a chance to kind of review it for legal issues or other issues. So I want to kind of do a more thorough, look through of this document. Of course, I did look through it, before today's meeting. I spotted several issues, and I wanted to kind of bring that to everyone's attention, and, work with the people who wrote it, so that it can be something, on the agenda for next time that has less stuff in it that could be problematic.
All right.
That sounds good. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mostly authored it and we approved it we discussed it, amended it somewhat and approved it in the outreach meeting, but obviously we can amend it however needed. So feel free to reach out and schedule a meeting.
And my email is always open.
I closed mine down at 5 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well. All right. Anything
All right.
else?
Bye, con Dios.
I don't have anything else, so this meeting is over, everyone.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Yeah, have a good one.
Bye.